So here's the results from the marathon last weekend. Total time 3:52:11. Average pace 8:48 minutes per mile. So it was not as good as I wanted. I was going for 3:30 and missed it by a lot, obviously, and that's okay. I'm really glad that I went for it. First of all, like just that I trained really hard for it and gave it my best. Didn't exactly make it. We'll see what happened here in a second. But the marathon itself was awesome. The trip was awesome. I got to go to LA for 2 days and visit my friends and stuff, and that was great. So here's the paces, the mile splits, 8:12. So I was going for about an 8-minute average, and I was gonna say like if I run the first half in this was my plan. If I run the first half in around 8:05 and I still feel good, I can kind of like speed it up towards the end because that's what I did last time and it worked pretty good. So I was gunning for about 8:05 to 8:10 for the first half, and then if I felt good, I could speed it up. If I felt bad, I would at least feel like happy that I didn't go too hard in the first half if I started to lose it in the second half. But anyways, so here 8:12, and this gap is a grade adjusted pace. So this is like, since it's 69-foot elevation gain, you get a little bit of bonus. So it's kind of like how much effort, what did it feel like I was doing, and then this one, yeah. So anyways, first mile uphill a little bit, 8:12. Oh my gosh, so we got there a little bit late. It was kind of a mess at the beginning where like you had to park at the finish line and then take a bus to the start. So you can see right here, like this start and end is not in the same place. I can't see the whole overview, but anyway, here we go. So it ends like way over here. So we parked over here and took a bus to the start, and there was like a huge traffic jam at the start. So the bus got there late, and there was like 20 buses, so we were just one of them, and we were like walking up to the start as people were starting the race and all the excitement was happening. So we kind of got there and like, well, we're not going to make the start of it. Might as well take our time, go to the bathroom, and put our stuff in the gear check or whatever. And then so we were literally the last people to start, and everybody was gone by the time we get to the starting line, and then there was some people walking, and we just started. You got your chips, so it doesn't really matter. But all the announcer was going like, "Where were you guys? You missed the start." Kind of like giving us shit, and kept saying, "You guys got to start because the half marathon was going to start lining up right after. So you got to get out of here." And then it was all good though. The only crazy thing was like I was worried that I was gonna have to like pass all these people and there'd be a huge mob and it'd be a pain in the butt to like weave through the whole crowd. But there actually wasn't that many people in this race, because they split the marathon in the half. So most people were running the half, and that's where all the crowd was. So the full was not so bad. The only scary thing was like I didn't know the route, so if we had started too late and everybody was gone already, I wouldn't even actually know where to go. So it was good that there was some people ahead of us that we could figure out where to go next. Anyways, yeah, so mile 2, 7:47, still pretty good. I was happy. Like I remember the first 6 miles or so, I was like on pace, I was feeling strong, but I was feeling like a little bit of like pain in my legs. Like I never run this fast in practice, in my like training runs, so my legs were feeling it a little bit. They were kind of like, oh, what are we doing, or how long are we going here? And so I had to remind myself like, okay, well, yeah, you're at 6 miles, you got still 20 more to go. You gotta like take it easy a little bit, or kind of like know that this is gonna be a long way to the finish. So when I hit 6, that's when kind of the initial excitement of the race wore off. And if you look at this, like the first 6 miles, they're all like mostly downhill. So there's a lot of downhill at the beginning. So it kind of gave you a false sense of security, I guess, when you're fresh starting the race. You got a lot of energy, a lot of like all the crowd is hyping you up and everything, and then and you're going downhill. So you gotta keep that in mind. But I was still on pace, so I was happy. And then I was kind of like trying to say like, okay, remember you got to put in the miles, take it easy, stay calm. And I remember around 6 miles, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be hard, and I need to just focus up and put in 10 strong miles around this like 8:05 pace. And if I can just do that, then we can start planning a strategy to make it to the end. So that was my thought process, was just like, oh my God, just put in 10 miles. And that's like my normal run is like 10 miles at this pace. So it's like, I got to do one of my normal runs, and then we can start thinking about how to finish the race. And there will still be like a lot of miles after. There's to be another 10 after that. But anyways, this first part of the race, you can see is all like near the water. It was so beautiful, and the weather was perfect. It was nice and cool. The sun was just coming up, and there was all these like boats and stuff parked over here. This is Orange County, so it's like super beautiful. There's the ocean right there, and then all these people had these nice houses and boats along the water there. So here we are. They're all the splits are like in the high 7s, low 8s. So I'm feeling really good, keeping the pace really well, staying calm. 10 miles, yeah, we're still along the water. This was awesome. And then I really liked this part where we went into this like trail in the back of some houses. It was like in a neighborhood, but there was this trail that goes down here, and it was kind of like a weird, there's a trail behind your house, and I guess one day a year the entire marathon like runs through your neighborhood. So that was kind of funny. And then we kept going down here. This is the halfway point. So I hit the halfway point at, I think it was like here we go. Yeah, 145. You know, these are a little bit underestimates because you end up running a little bit farther. So I think I was around like 146 something when I hit the halfway point. And I was like, man, we are right on target. This is like the exact pace that I wanted to hit for the first half. And yeah, that made me feel good. But at the same time, I was really feeling it in my legs, like my quads and my hip flexors, and like that area was like, oh, this is gonna be hard. I could tell already it was gonna be hard. And I was like, man, I don't know how long I can keep this up, but it was really good. And then that's when I was saying like, okay, just a few more miles to hit that 10-mile goal that I was saying. I was just like trying to do any kind of trick that I could to like trick my mind into just chunking this thing down and like getting towards the end. So 13 miles, halfway point, it feels like I'm already getting tired, right? It's 13 miles in. This is a pretty long run for me. So in my training, what I was trying to do was run just slow and just short. I never did any 20-mile plus runs since the last marathon, which was like 3 months ago. So that, and the combination with I never ran around this like 8-minute pace. So, you know, that seems unwise in retrospect. Like, how are you planning to run a 26-mile race at 8-minute pace if you've never run more than 15 miles and you never run faster than like 8:30 pace? Then logically it seems like you shouldn't expect to be able to do that. But this is like kind of the training method that everybody uses, and the Maffetone method just says like run as many miles as you can, not all at once, not very fast, and it will work out in the end. And so far it's worked for me. On this particular day it didn't. Spoiler. So here we go. We keep going. 14, 15. I remember like one of the funniest. Oh my gosh! Right at this turn, I think this is the turn. There was like this flower farm right here, and it smelled like manure. The entire like coming down this street, you could just smell it. It was awful. um, what else happened? Oh, there was one point earlier where it had rained the night before, and we were really worried because it was still raining when we left the house to go to the starting line, that it was going to be raining during the race, but it stopped. But because of the rain, there was all these snails like crawling across the street, and they were like really cool looking snails. I was like running and trying to look at them, and they were all like translucent. The shells and the snail bodies were completely see through. So it was really weird looking. I wanted to stop and take pictures of them, but I was like, dude, I'm trying to run a marathon here. I can't like stop and take pictures of these snails. But we were all trying to like jump around and dodge the snails as we were running, and I know some of them didn't make it, and it was kind of sad. But like they were really cool snails, and I'm sorry that they all tried to cross the street during the marathon. Um, and then okay, so we went down here. This was actually 16 miles. I was thinking this was like around the halfway point, but I guess it was past. I remember this part particularly because you run down this road and then turn around and come back, and I was like, oh, I hate when they do that. But yeah, I guess that was probably maybe that was the 30K point. I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah. So running down this street and then continuing here, it started going through a bunch of neighborhoods, and it was cool. There was a lot of people cheering and coming out with signs and stuff, watching. But man, I was struggling at this point. Like I was just trying to hold it together. It's like 16 miles. We got 10 left. That's a really long run left, and I'm struggling to keep the pace at this point. See, my pace starts to slow down a little bit. I'm 8:18, 8:19. I was like, okay, just push it a little bit, hold it together. Got a good 8:11 there, and then the next one was 8:30, so still not too bad, but slowing down a bit. And then another 8:25, and we're just like going through these neighborhoods and stuff. And then it really started to fall apart. Here we go, like 8:50. It was getting hotter. I was getting really tired. My legs were just dying and could not keep up. So yeah, I remember turning onto this like river trail. It's kind of like a concrete aqueduct kind of thing, or what, I don't know what it's called. It's just like this concrete channel that the river goes down to the ocean. So we're running along the side of that. It says it's a river. It's not that scenic. It was just like in the middle of the city, and there's a little bike trail along the side. But yeah, that was a struggle. It felt a little bit hillier than this. I think there was some like going under these bridges. You had to go up and down, a little bit hilly. Kept pushing, kept trying, kind of holding it together, less than 9. And then I think around here, yeah, around like mile 23 is when I started cramping up. So that was pretty much the end of it. Like, yeah, once you start cramping, I don't know what you're supposed to do, but I don't have a good way to get rid of cramps. So I would just like have to walk a little bit until the cramp went away. Like, I guess the lactic acid like clears out of your legs, and then you can run a few more steps and then feel the cramp again, and then walk and then run. So that was basically the last 1, 2, 3, 4 miles of my race, was just trying to finish, walk, run, and like seeing these times creep up and up and up. Yeah, I think, let's see, if I take off like 2, 3, 5, 4, so I don't know, that's like an extra 16, 17 minutes. Yeah, so I was probably on pace to do like 3:30 something, right? Maybe, yeah. I was on pace to get into the 3:30s. Like if I had just kept 8:30-ish pace through these last miles, I probably would have still PR'd this run. But yeah, when you're cramping, it's really, I don't know. There's nothing I can do to kind of like will myself to not cramp. I haven't figured that one out yet. Yeah, there was a lot less water than I thought there would be on this race, and I don't know if that contributed, but man, I'm I'm kind of sad because yeah, I don't think I was prepared to make the pace that I wanted to. I think I definitely had to do more long runs just to avoid this, and then probably just get more comfortable at that 8 minute pace so that my legs don't feel like they're exploding when I come and try to do that in the race day. So yeah, I think overall I'm happy I did it. It was fun. I'm happy that I tried really hard, and oh my god, that was a crazy workout. I was sore up until this morning, and it's now Friday, so almost the entire week I was still feeling it. Um, but it was a good run. It was the first half was like amazing, beautiful, and then it ended up in this like fairground thing that was like pretty fun to hang out in afterwards. And my friend's aunt is the like leader of one of the run clubs in Orange County, and so they had like a whole setup where they were hanging out with their run club members and friends, and she actually won her age group, which is insane. I don't remember what she got. She was in the like 65 plus age group, and she was the fastest one for the full marathon. That's crazy. I definitely wasn't the fastest one. Definitely like tons of people passed me. Oh my gosh. But you know, like at the end, around like mile 20, you see people start to like fall out and start walking, and then around like I was doing the walking and running thing around like mile 23, and so we'd be like walking, somebody would pass you, and then they would start walking and you'd pass them, and then they'd pass you, and like yeah, we were just like all struggling to just make it to the end. And oh my god, those last 4 miles are so painful, especially when you're not feeling good and you're not even able to run the whole way. It's just tough, and like people are like trying to encourage you and cheer you on and stuff, and you're just like, man, I cannot. There's no way I can run right now. My legs are cramping up. I wish I could have taken a picture of my calf too, because like one of the cramps was so bad I almost fell down, and I was like looking at my calf as it was like contracting and like doing this weird spasm thing, and I was like, whoa, that was nuts. And I wish I could have taken a picture of it, but I was like kind of right here. So like you run through the whole party, like this is where the people are partying because they just finished, so you have to run through, and there's like a band playing right here, and then there's people just like having their finish line beer or whatever, and you run past here, and it's supposed to be your like victory lap, but I was kind of like limping through and stumbling around, and then you come around, and this looks small on the map, but this was like a pretty long loop around to the finish line. But yeah, that was it. It was fun. Let's see what else happened. Yeah, and then we went back to my friend's cousin's house, and we had a barbecue after, and it was really fun, and I really enjoyed the trip. Got to hang out with friends, got to see their kids. The the life with kids thing is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of growing on me. I appreciate it. I'm still very bad with kids, so I think it's like it's always funny to me when the kids actually like respond to me, and I feel so awkward with them sometimes, and it's like, kids, why do you like me? I'm not like a cartoon character. I'm not like one of those people that naturally just gravitates to kids, but you know, they're fun to play with still, and yeah, it felt good. It was a very wholesome weekend. And now I am getting ready to go to Vegas for a bachelor party, so maybe complete opposite. We'll see. But yeah, I think reviewing this, I was saying I was gonna decide after this race if I would continue, if I would try to keep going with the marathon thing. And you know, I'm not disappointed that I didn't get a PR. I think it was a good effort, and I think I would try again. The thing that I was starting to feel when I was training was kind of like doing this marathon stuff feels a bit selfish. And you know, I guess there's some ways that I could make it less selfish. Like there are people who are kind of like fitness influencers who inspire other people to do better at their own fitness, or whatever, give them information or give them motivation. And I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I do that a little bit unintentionally to my friends and stuff, but yeah, I think if I'm gonna put in this much effort to something, I don't think marathon running is like necessarily that healthy. I think like you can get enough of a workout doing other things that you don't have to go this extreme for the sake of health. So I still want to work out, but I think that I should put my life effort into something that's a little bit less selfish, that helps the world as as a whole, instead of just a goal that is personal to me and doesn't at the end of the day doesn't matter if I achieve my goal or not. It's the world will be the same. I'll be happy for briefly, but the world will be the same. So yeah, I'm thinking about going back to work, which is surprising to me, because I mean, there's some days when I wake up and I am so happy that I don't have to work. I'm so happy that I get to do whatever I want and follow whatever curiosity comes to me that day. And especially when I'm not feeling good, like when I woke up on Monday morning and I could barely walk. That was a great day to not go to work. But yeah, I miss the interaction with people. I miss working on a team, and I miss having a kind of purpose higher than myself. So I'm thinking about it, and I want to make sure that I do it right. I want to make sure that it's not something that's all consuming, that's sacrificing my health and my relationships for whatever this goal is, because I think it's important to have a goal, but I don't want it to be the number one thing anymore. So it used to be that my career was number one, and I don't want it to be anymore. I think that I'm ready to do something a little bit. I think I can get something that's equally meaningful, but not as all-consuming as I have done in the past. So we'll see what that looks like, and it's good because it rules out a lot of things. Like, I've ruled out businesses that are just for the sake of profit. These are some kind of like financial ideas that I've had, which are just like moving money around, like insurance and loans and mortgage type businesses. Like, to me, those are good ways to make money, but they don't actually feel like they're fulfilling anything for me. So I think it's going to be something in the green energy realm. I looked a lot at wind turbines in California off the coast. I think that's a very interesting idea, and I'm not sure if it's going to be something that I can do in the next 5 to 10 years, though. So I have to find a project that's going to work within that time frame, where I can make a meaningful difference within 5 to 10 years, because that's kind of the I found the timeline for me that I am able to stay focused on one project, and after that time I usually start to get bored and want to go do something else. So So I have to find something that's that I can make a meaningful impact in 5 to 10 years. Um, Hopefully as a small team. I don't want to make a big team. I maybe would join a big team, but there aren't that many right now. So we'll see. We'll see how it looks and how it turns out. But yeah, super happy with this. Hey, second best half marathon ever. PR for the 30K. So my first best half marathon was when I was only running a half marathon, and I believe my pace on that was like 7:45, like 1:43 total time or something like that. So this was like actually pretty close to that speed that I ran in San Antonio like a year ago. So yeah, I'm in good shape. I just didn't perform on that day, and I could do better. It's getting really freaking hot in Texas though, so I don't know if I want to keep training. I think I might go back to just doing the gym thing for a while, get stronger, maybe work on those speed drills and stuff. Who knows? And then figure out what I'm going to do for work, because I think I'm ready to go back. I have my days where I really want to come back, and then I have my days where I really don't. So it alternates, and I really have to find a project that I'm excited about, that I can get other people on board with and speak passionately about. And I think I'm getting closer. I'm narrowing it down at least, so that's good. Anyways, I'm gonna go for a run today because it's actually kind of nice right now, and then start packing for Vegas.